My name is Dr. Charles Osei Dankwa. I'm a product of Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, where I studied chemical engineering. Then I came to the US and I went to the George Washington University, where I studied mechanical engineering. And then I went to Walden University, where I got a PhD in operations research, which is also called applied management and decision science. The name of my company is Hawknad Specialty Products, and actually Hawknad is my last name, Dankwa spelled backwards. The journey of the company actually started in 1992, when I had the idea of making what we call cosmeceuticals. These are cosmetic companies, that actually make a difference to the skin. Cosmetic products that make a difference to the skin, as opposed to products that are used for skin moisturization. Because I wanted to have a niche market, and my niche market was the African community. And they will not use any cream unless they see a visible change to their skin. So I started doing my research and then trying to make my own formula using a kitchen blender. And once I got the products, I also get them out to friends and family to use them and give me a feedback as to how the product can be improved. And then, working on the feedback I got from them, I kept perfecting the product until I came out with the final formula. And then the next step was, how do I make this product? And there was a manufacturing company in Lynchburg. They are contract manufacturers. So I approached them with the formula and everything, and then they said, okay, you go and buy the raw materials for us, and we'll do it for you and charge you this amount. And they made the product for me. And the first batch, actually, I split it like 75% to Ghana, 25% in the US, where I sold the products, and it was well received in Ghana. So I started, increasing production. And then I started getting requests from other countries, because people in the US were buying them and selling their countries. So I got a lot of importers who wanted to work with me. I started, imports. But the contract manufacturer was very slow to keep up with my demand. So I realized it was time for me to have my own factory and make it myself, so I can actually turn around faster and serve my customers better. And that's why I decided to go into production myself. I started in 1992, but I think manufacturing actually started in 1995. Some time ago, I had as many as 30 products. But right now, I'm focusing on 12 products. Because sometimes, you have the idea, you develop the product, it goes on the market, and then if it's not selling well, you have to cut it, because you cannot compete in that area. I always say this: advertising can get the customer to buy the first product, but if he or she is not satisfied, that person is not going to buy again. So it's a process of constant improvement, getting feedback from your customers, and going back to the drawing board and improving your formula. This is a Clear and Smooth Plus cream. It's a skin toning cream which is actually based on hydroquinone-free products. It's based on combination of plant extras, which also give the same strength as the hydroquinone products, but this is much safer than using hydroquinone. We have it in two versions. The strongest one is actually this one, which is Clear and Smooth Ultimate, because it has more of the plant extras than this one. But again, skin texture varies from individual to individual. So this may work better for you, or that may work better for you. So we give you options. At the beginning, I talk about cosmeceuticals. That is skincare products that also give some function to the body. Here is a Clear and Smooth Acne Pimple Lotion. This is to prevent pimples and also clear existing pimples. This is the lotion form. I have it also as a cream that you can apply over your face. And over here we have Clear and Smooth Antiperspirant Deodorant. The function is actually to limit perspiration in the armpit area. We have tested this, and that's why we claim 24 hours efficacy. It's a test called the Antiperspirant Efficacy Test, where they actually apply to the armpits of several subjects, and they put them in a humid chamber, and then they actually measure the perspiration they produced. And these two products pass the test. So now I can claim the 24-hour efficacy because FDA requires that we do that. And for general skin moisturization for family, I have the Clear and Smooth Collagen Cream. At the same time, it's an anti-aging cream because it will supplement the collagen in your skin. And then it'll give you more smoother complexion. We are in a relationship with our raw material supplier for cosmetics. And whenever they develop a new product that has a new function, they advise us. And then we have to actually make the judgment as to whether this will help improve our products or we have to actually formulate this into new products for our customers. So our future is actually driven by the availability of new products that will improve our products. In the US, we cover, I think, 8 states in the US. And then we used to cover about 15 countries in the world. That was before the worldwide ban of hydroquinone. So right now we are in about 5 countries. Hydroquinone actually is a skin lightening ingredient. It's the best actually for skin lightening. And FDA has determined that we should not use this more than 2% because beyond that, it does damage to your skin. But the problem with hydroquinone is that the more you put into the product, the more effective it is. So in the US, the law was 2% and you couldn't use more than 2%. But people were making products of 5% hydroquinone, 10% hydroquinone, and sending them to Africa. Because you use that, get instant results, and then after a while you start having the adverse effects on the skin. This is why it's been banned worldwide. Because we have unscrupulous businessmen who will not keep to the 2% concentration. They try to cheat, especially the Abidjan manufacturers, by putting as much hydroquinone as they can get away with. And the world felt that the best way to protect consumers is to ban it altogether. In fact, I keep changing my formula based on the input I get from the manufacturers. If the new ingredient pops out tomorrow, I'll find a way to, and I believe it will help my formula, I'll find a way to incorporate it in the formula. So it's like we are constantly improving the product. And the major challenge we had actually in our 31 years, I'll probably say 2 challenges. The first challenge is the ban of hydroquinone in several countries. The problem is that it didn't occur all at once. We have one country after each other, banning hydroquinone. We used to do about $600,000 in Europe. We got a major distributor over there. And then in the year 2022, they banned hydroquinone in all the European Union countries. So we lost that distributor. And then we used to export to Kenya. And then Kenya banned it, so we lost that person. So it's more like a death by 1,000 cuts. Yeah, and then I think the last straw was Ghana. So we had to actually reformulate our products using plant extracts that when put together in synergy, gives the same effect as using hydroquinone. But that also makes it more expensive. People are still making hydroquinone products, especially in Ghana, in Abidjan, and they are finding ways to send them to Ghana. And once it gets in the system, nobody gets caught. The FDA looks the other way. But if I send the same thing from here, US, to Ghana, they will seize at the port. Our future actually is driven by availability of newer and better ingredients. Right now, of course, we all know that if we can come out with a skin lightening product, that is very effective. A lot of people will buy it. And so, it depends on raw material manufacturers. As I said, we are on the guard. Whenever something comes out that will make our products better, we will make them better. But I know our ability to make good products is limited by the availability of materials. That will do what we want. My advice to entrepreneurs is that you should look at what is the existing market. Sometimes you can come out with a new product, or you can figure a way to make an existing product better. Like I always say, someone came out with a TV set. Another person looked at the TV set and said, no, TV needs a table. So they came out with a table for TV table. Another person said, no, there's space under the table. I need to put shelves there so we can use it as a cupboard. So that's another invention. So you can improve an existing invention or come out with their own invention. But it's also very good to have knowledge in the area where you want to invest. I always say this, it's like, if you look at the story of Elon Musk, he is managing Tesla. Tesla is doing very well. He's managing SpaceX. SpaceX is doing very well. Then he bought Twitter and then he decided to manage it when he didn't have any experience or knowledge in the field. And then it became a big disaster. And then ultimately, he hired someone else to run Twitter so he can get away from it. So it's always a good idea to have knowledge in the field that you are in. Just don't go in because others are doing it. And I always say this, especially to my Ghanaian brothers and sisters, do not follow the crowd. Do not follow the beaten path. If everybody is going into selling coconuts, don't go there. Find something else to sell. Because you always want to go against the flow. Because I remember a story of my two friends who were importing cars from Korea and sending them to Ghana. Their first trip was successful because you can put 4 cars in one container and ship to Ghana. The first trip was successful. Second trip was successful. Then they decided to, this time go in for 3 containers. Take a loan and go in for 3 containers. And I happened to be on a conversation. So I said, I know 5 other people who are also doing the same business. So if I were you, I would diversify and buy spare parts for the Korean car because all these are used cars. They're going to need spare parts eventually. But then they said, well, if I send cars and I'm able to sell them, I'll turn them into taxis. If I sell spare parts and if I send spare parts, I'm unable to sell them, then it becomes a loss. So they went ahead and got 3 containers. By the time they got to Ghana, the market was fully saturated. They couldn't sell them right away. They didn't have any land to store them. So they had to auction them off at a cheap price, and they lost their past profits, some of their capital, and that was the end of the business. So you don't follow the crowd. If they are going left, find a way to go right, and you'll be more successful.